friends, Stephanie here from Classy Lady Yarnworks, coming to you today with a tutorial on how to read graphs for doing color work in crochet. I'm going to be showing you how to read both pictures and text versions of graph work, and I'm going to show you how to translate the image into the text. Some people really like to work from the text, some people really like to work from the pictures. It's just a preference that you'll figure out as you do this more. I personally like the picture and just working straight from the graph myself. I find it just easier to keep up with, but a lot of people like to work from the text, and they will just work along and mark through each section as they go through it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. For now, I want to start with the picture so that you can gain an understanding of how the text and the picture relate, so that you'll understand what you're looking at when you're looking at a text translation. As a right-handed crocheter, when you're reading a graph, you're going to start in the bottom right corner, and you're going to move bottom to top and alternating back and forth through each row. And this is how you'll work through the graph as you're stitching. So what we can do from there is translate this to a written version. So again, as a right-handed crocheter, you're starting from this side. So when you're on row 1, or you're going to be on odd rows every time, you're going to be moving right to left. You're going to be moving towards the left. So row 1 here, we're moving across this way in color A. My dark color here is A, my light color here is B. So we're moving this way. So in this first row, we have color A times 20. Then when we move to the next row, we're going left to right. So in this row, row 2, we have A times 2, B times 1, A times 3, B times 1, A times 2, B times 5, A times 2, B times 2, and A times 2, I ran out of room. So then we move up to row 3, we're going to be going right to left. That's going to be A times 8, B times 1, A times 4, B1, A3, B1, and A2. So hopefully you kind of get the gist there. It's pretty straightforward. Now, if you are working as a left-handed crocheter, you're going to do this in the opposite direction. You're going to start in the bottom left corner, and you're going to move this way. It's a very simple little switch, but it makes a big difference between right-handed and left-handed crochet, especially when you have a piece that's not reversible. So that's all you have to do to adjust. So in that case, again, you would start bottom left and just go in the opposite direction. So your rows are going to be flip-flopped from this. Now, that's going to translate over, and I'll tell you how it kind of translates over when you have a pre-written text graph. So now we can come over here and look at this, and you can see a lot of times with graph patterns, people will put out the text version and the graph version. I certainly include both in every pattern, every premium pattern that I do. So now you kind of have an understanding of how that relates to the actual picture. So this is the same thing I did over here. I already translated these first few rows, but this is just already all worked up for you. And then what most people will do is, as they work through each section, so I've done 20 of my purple, and I just realized that I should have marked this. So in this case, I put the letter A on this, but in my program I did PU for purple and PI for pink. So PU in this is A and PI is B. Hopefully that's not confusing him. But anyway, the point is, we're moving again, we're moving back and forth across this way. These rows are marked with the arrows. So what we would do is, if we were actually working the piece, we would stitch 20 in A and then mark this through. And then we would chain 1, move to the next row, and we would do 2, mark this out, and we would do 1. So most people, when they're working this way, they do the number of stitches for each color change and just mark it out as they go through. Now, if you're a left-handed crocheter and you're working with a text graph that's already been put together for you, all you have to do is read from the end to the beginning. So if you were working on this row 3, you would be reading from this way. Every single row, you're just going to work it backwards. So hopefully that's a helpful tip for you, so that you can avoid having to, sit and write this out manually. If you like to work from the text graph, all you have to do is just read that in the opposite direction to make it turn out right. So yeah, that is how you read a colorwork graph. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you found it helpful, I hope you'll hit that like button. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button. I put out lots of stitch tutorials. There will be more videos incoming for how to do color work. I'm going to be having some tapestry and intarsia comparisons coming up. And I do yarn reviews, and I just try to put out tips and tricks that generally just help my classy crocheting friends. I am a crochet designer first and foremost. If you would like to check out my patterns, I like to put swear words on crochet patterns. So that's my thing. If that interests you, you're more than welcome to check those out. You can find my website in the description and peruse all of my classy goodness. Thank you again for watching, and do me a favor, drop me a comment. Let me know if you're a left-handed crocheter or a right-handed crocheter. If you're a left-handed crocheter, let me know if those tips helped you, or if you have any more questions. I'm happy to help you navigate that. Keep doing you, and I will catch you next time.